Radio Row at the beautiful Mandalay Casino and Resort at Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. It's the Geary, Stein, and Steven Show with your co-host, Troy Geary. And yes, even Will Stein is here. And of course, your host, fresh off his one-man, legless tribute to Elvis Presley, the hardest working man in show business this week, Dave Stevens.
All right, here we are once again from Radio Row. Dave Stevens, Troy Geary, and Will Stein somewhere. But the Hall of Fame hitters just keep coming, and so we're going to spend a little time with a Hall of Fame receiver who used to play just a state over back in the day for the Dan Fouts era and the Air Coryell and all those wonderful moments. Kellen Winslow, Hall of Famer, joining us. Kellen, it's great to have you here on Radio Row. Is it still as fun as back in the day? I mean, you've watched the Super Bowl turn from a couple reporters and things like that to boom.
It's grown quite a bit. That's an understatement. Here's a game, a sport, football, and just look at the economic impact it's having on this region. It's amazing.
So tell us what you're doing here. I know we had your friends on earlier with these amazing, some way you talk about it, but supporting
the Gridiron Great Assistance Fund.
And I love these
the Gridiron Great Assistance Fund was started by Mike Ditka, designed to kind of fill in the gaps between what the benefits were for retired players at the time and what the needs were at the time, because there was a huge gap in between those two. And he's done a great job with that. And the Southern Recipe Small Batch Company, the pork rind folks, started supporting him about 15 years ago and raising money for these endeavors. And over the years, we've had players who have needed a list of resources on where they can get some things done. They've needed financial help. They needed help with mental health, and sometimes just basic finances with monthly bills that the Gridiron Great Assistant Fund was able to step in and help with.
Well, you've watched a lot of your brothers on the gridiron take their own lives, all the things that have had. I mean, it's a shame that this wasn't around prior, but hopefully they can help and get assistance. And now with the new treatments and things like that, more of you can live longer and you can be at these Hall of Fame things together and enjoy each other. So are we getting to that point where we're taking care of you guys enough?
Well, there's still some room for improvement, in my opinion, but it's a great deal better than it once was. We're talking about, I went through 2 strikes during my playing days with the San Diego Chargers. And during those strike periods, we were trying to get better benefits, higher pay, and then better benefits. The benefits for retired players kept getting pushed back into subsequent negotiations with the CBA. But under the most recent CBA, which I think we're about 6 or 7 years into right now, but maybe 5 years into, things got better with those benefits that were offered to retired players. And of course, salaries have continued to go up, which is a good thing. Let me say this. I have no problem with what players make today. Nothing whatsoever. It's the fact that they're not reaching back and taking care of those players who came before them that still kind of sticks in my craw just a little bit. But the Gridiron Greats Fund has been there for a long time to kind of fill in the gaps where they can.
Man, muted. All right, here we go. This game on Sunday features 2 great tight ends like yourself, Travis Kelce and George Kittle. Just what are a couple things you see in each that make them such a great at the position?
They're warriors.
How has the tight end evolved from your playing days? I mean, are they expected to do more or less than back in the day?
Well, when I came into the league, of course, my coach was Don Coryell, My offensive coordinator was a guy by the name of Joe Gibbs, and our receivers coach was a guy by the name of Ernie Zampese. All great innovators in the offensive game of football. When Coach Coryell decided to take the fullback out of the game and put in the second tight end, which happened to be me, it kind of changed the game. And I'm not saying I changed the game, but Don Coryell changed the game. There were guys who could have done what I did, but they didn't play for the San Diego Chargers. You know, John Mackey, for example, Charlie Sanders, Charlie Young, all those guys could have done the things that I did as a player. Jackie Smith. Jackie Smith could have done the same things, but I was with the San Diego Chargers at the time when those innovative coaches were around, and they changed the course of football, and they certainly changed the course for the tight end and set them on the evolutionary path that they're on right now.
I still think about that Miami playoff game with you guys coming off the field, arms around it, just dragging each other. I mean, you're still your team, Eric Coryell, Dan Fouts, you guys are still thought of as one of the greatest offensive in football history, yet you didn't get there. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it just never got to that point.
Yeah, the ball bounced the wrong way sometimes. You didn't make the right personnel move, a fumble here or there, just a bunch of things. But when I look on a career, and I hope other players can get to this point, where my career was my career, to play in the National Football League, to get to that level is a rarity. To have success at this level is a rarity. And I'm just thankful for the teams that I played on and the individuals that I played with.
And Troy was mentioning this earlier. It's even rare to have a son have success in the NFL. I mean, how's that been?
One of the greatest joys I've had as a professional athlete or as a athlete is watching my son play. There's nothing that I did compares with the feeling I had as a parent to watch him run onto the field. Nothing.
Speaking of Don Coryell, how special was it last 4 months ago to see him finally inducted into Kansas?
It was a long road. It should have been done a long time ago, but we're thankful that it finally happened. I can think of no one who has been more of a contributor to the National Football League in many ways, not just in the passing game, but in the television contract. This is a passing league. The reason that the NFL television contract is what it is because it's a great product. It's a great product because of the passing game. And Don Coryell had a huge contribution in that area.
What exactly set that apart, though? What made his mindset go that you guys were able to do things that no other teams at that time had done? You see it all the time now.
You see it all the time now. I'll give you an example. We were the first team to have
Do you have a prediction quickly?
Kansas City. I'm an AFC guy. I grew up in Missouri. I got to pick Kansas City.
There you go.
That's a good pick.
Another one. They're not the underdogs this week because everybody seems to be on that bandwagon. So, Hall of Fame tight end Kellen Winslow, so great to have you stop by. Thank you again. And of course, we got the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund, which is so important. We talked to them earlier about how impactful that is for your generation, but generations going forward.
Indeed.
So, thank you, Kellen,
Thank you
so much for joining us.
Take care.
Let's pay some bills. Troy and I will come back, talk a little more. And again, people just keep flying by. We don't know who's next. Geary, Stein, and Stevens on Radio Row. Stay with us.
They can strike anytime or anywhere. You can have one while giving a speech at your best friend's wedding or in the middle of your uncle's funeral. It's called a wingasm, and it occurs when you bet and win with MyBookie. And this football season, enjoy more wingasms than ever with new features like early cash out. So you can pull out and enjoy an early wingasm, then bet those funds immediately. Tired of waiting all day for your money? We've increased the speed of bet settlement. And with enhanced game lines and live betting and streaming, you can bet right up until kickoff, then place more bets during the game. Oh, and what would a new season be without our $100,000 Survivor contest? And a super contest with a cash pot of $250,000. Have more wingasms, more often with MyBookie.
Whoa. She's totally checking me out. She's probably looking at my arms. Or maybe just the shirt. I mean, the shirt is my secret weapon. It shows off my arms and doesn't cling to my stomach. Who could blame her?
Hey, I like your shirts. You want to get out of here?
Unleash your confidence with fresh, clean threads.
All right, we are back, and look, we got empty chairs, so it's just me right now here on Radio Row, just finishing up our snacks. And again, Southern Recipe Small Brand from Radio Row. And I'm going to have indigestion from right over there behind us is the wings. Excuse me. Excuse me. Pork rinds went down.
You're amazing. You're amazing.
Thank you. I need one of those buttons that you put down when you cough. But Troy is taking off to go get some more guests. And again, we are so thankful for our sponsors and everybody that's been around on this ride for us. Of course, Serendipity Yacht, Cruises and Events, Fresh Clean Threads, of course, the Disability Channel, MyBookie, and our favorite new sponsors is La Fratellanza cigars, and these are amazing. These are the new cigars from just out of the Dominican Republic, made by a group of college buddies that decided to get together and make really, really, really good cigars. So if you like cigars and you're a cigar aficionado, well, then you got to go to the website right here. Let me show you that. That would be lafratellanzacigars.com, lafratellanza.com, cigars.com. Type in that show code GSS20 for 20% off of those cigars. And again, they are amazing. They're going off the shelves. I think Troy may have smoked most of the runs that we still have a couple left for prop purposes. But don't forget, support the Geary, Stein, and Stevens show, and all of our sponsors help us continue to have such great shows. So, and we also have the Disability Channel that has their 50-50 raffle going, and Serendipity Yachts, of course, is another big sponsor. Click on that QR code or type in syccruises.com. Go to there, and they have all kinds of cruises planned for 2024 Serendipity Yacht Cruises. As I mentioned, the Disability Channel has their 50-50 raffle going, and again, you just click on those little QR codes, and you, excuse me, pork rinds all the way down my throat. I can't even talk anymore, but click on the QR code if you want to donate, if you want to be a part of the 50-50 raffle. There you have it. So I'm getting tired of talking here. It's been a long morning here on Radio Row. So many stars, NFL Hall of Famers, celebrity chefs coming over. I mean, it's just been one right after the other, rapid fire. So we were just excited to have Kellen Winslow sit down for a little bit. So continue to follow us on all social media platforms. Of course, Your Home TV, and you can find that on Roku. So for Troy and wherever Will is, this is Dave Stevens from Radio Row. I'm sure we're going to be on a couple more times today, never knowing who is stopping by. I'm going to go take a breath, clear my throat, and be back in just a little bit. So don't go away. You're watching Geary, Stein, and Stevens live from Mandalay Bay on Radio Row.
Thank you for watching the Geary, Stein, and Steven show from Super Bowl 58. You can watch all of the episodes at yourhometv.com or download the Your Home TV app on Roku. Follow the boys on all social media and podcast apps.